We'll figure it out. Maybe Thursday. So I used to do tax tip Tuesdays, finance Friday, and then big business Saturday. So now I have kind of a different roster of information that I'm getting ready to share. So I'm switching up the days a little bit that I used to come on, right? Um, so instead of keep on talking about this Chicago stuff, right? I want you all, I want to talk to everybody because this what I'm talking about is not just for Chicago. This is really for everybody. If you are an American, right? And this is more of the conversations that we need to have because this type of stuff, financial literacy and financial education affects every every community, not just the Black community, right? Of course, I'm a African American, so I'm a freedman woman, Sulan, all right? Uh, sexy Sulan, sexy American princess. I love me some Mona Leo, man. I love that little girl. Like, I love that little girl. I'm gonna say that. I love that girl right there. She definitely know herself and her culture. But I wanted to say all that to say that moving forward, when I talk to you all regarding business and taxes and all of this applies to every single American that live in the United States of America. One, because you need to know and understand this because this is not what you're taught, right? The American school system, right, is not what it is. I think that's part of the problem. Why so many people are indoctrinated the way that they are is because the American school system really ain't what it is, right? It's not really teaching you what you really should be learning. As far as I know, I don't have kids, but from what I know from those of you who have children, y'all they not learning taxes, business, credit, entrepreneurship, finances, money, stock, right? Even the stuff that we learned back in the day, you're not using none of that stuff. If you're not about to be a astronaut or a scientist, geometry and all that stuff you learning, you're not about to use none of that stuff today. Half the stuff they teach you from first grade to 12th grade, you will never use the rest of your life. So we do have to talk about the American school system, right? So once I got out of the matrix, as I tell a lot of you all, right? Once I got out of the matrix, and before I got out of the matrix, which I call the 9 to 5 in the system, right? Before I got out of the system, I still started my business. I started my business in 2008 while I still was working for somebody else. I still had a corporate job, right? But I started my business while I had that job. And this is what I'm going to share with you all and break down with you on this wall behind me. So that's what I'm saying. Those of you that are on Facebook, you see you can't see. It's backwards. So if you go on my YouTube channel, you can see it clearly. I'm Patrice L. Stewart on my YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube, type in Patrice L. Stewart, I should come up. I'm the only Patrice L. Stewart with a page on YouTube. I just type my name up and I come up. I'm right immediately. So you'll be able to find my page. Unlike TikTok, when y'all go on TikTok, somebody got 8,000. It's like 8 to 10 different pages on TikTok. That's not me. But I would recommend going over there now. All right, because I'm getting ready to turn around and get on this board because I want to share something with you. And I'm going to ask you all that are watching to share the live. Any of you all that are watching this right now, I want you to share this live because, again, this information that I'm sharing is really for everybody. And that's how I've always been. I'm an educator. You might have found me from that one video. I'm not a politician. I'm going to just also put that out there. I've gotten about 25 messages about being a politician. I'm not a politician. I'm just a young lady who grew up on the South Side, Southeast Side to be correct, South Shore to be even more specific, Terrytown, okay? And I'm passionate about my community. That's just it, right? I've never been in politics. I'm not a politician. I don't plan on running. I know some of y'all asked me, am I planning on running for mayor and alderman? And I want to share with you all why I do and why I think the way that I think, because when you are a good person and you get into politics, you still have to sit across the table and do a deal with the devil. That's what y'all don't understand. Your favorite politicians, Obama, everybody, okay? You have to sit across the table and do deals with the devil. I'm not trying to do that. Most of the people that y'all saw in the beginning, oh, this and that, they still sat across the table and made deals that they didn't want to make. Okay, that's politics. And this is why I want more American people to get out of the politic rage and learn the system. Learn the system. When you learn the system, they're going to start changing things because y'all going to be making too much money out here. Y'all not even going to be focused on a red or a blue. They're going to be like, what is going on with America? America woke up and got smart. That's what happened. They stopped letting you put them against each other with these whack ass politics because y'all got to remember, same bird, left wing, right wing, same bird. They both got to sit at the table. They both got to agree. They both got to do deals to pass these laws. All y'all mad about, but your Democratic Party and your Republican Party are both coming together in Congress and Senate. The government is shut down right now because what they say, 7 Democrats don't want to vote on what the majority, right? You know, right now, Republican is running Senate and Congress, right? So everybody's like, oh, well, that's the Republican. Well, actually, some of your Democrats are a part of that as well. And from what is being put out there, they are shutting the whole entire government down because they have a whole lot more money for illegals. Once again, the same way they had money for them the last 4 years to come over here. They want more money for them. Then also look at your politicians today. A lot of them are not born American. A lot of them are people who migrated from other countries and now have an office and a seat in America. So look at that. Somebody sent me a video that kind of broke that down. The Democratic Party has about 25 or 20 people that's not even born here on this land that's representing you and talking for you. You get what I'm saying? So it's real easy for other people to have an opinion, but those of us who have always lived here, always been born here, Black Sulan Americans, okay? Need y'all to understand who y'all are. Quit calling yourself Black. We all are used to saying Black, but you need to also learn your history. That girl, I love that little girl, that little young girl that just got married, her and her husband now, okay? Young couple, but she's very smart. Mona Leo. If you've never heard of her, go type her up. Go look up Mona Leo and go listen to some of her music and go understand how she represents culture. And that Sexy Sulan, that song that she has out, that's a lot of you all, and you don't even know your heritage. Okay? Black is a color. I keep telling y'all that. That's why you never get reparations, because you keep asking for it as Black people. There's no such thing as Black people. That's what they made up. That's not a culture. That's not a race. That's not an ethnic group, right? You see how all these other people come over here and they waving their flags and this and that. This is why white America and Black America are at this point damn near feel the same, because your flag is American and you here and you got all these people from other countries waving their flag, because that's all you see over here in South Shore. The Hispanic flag, the Venezuelan flag, the Mexico flag, everybody waving their flag, but they ain't in their land, they ain't in their country. So that's why everybody heated at this point, because you came over here for a better life, but you over here waving your flag like you about to take over. And technically, it is about to be a takeover the way your government been allowing things to happen and funding it. Let's be clear. So go do some research as to why your government is shut down and get off of the blue and red train. Do the research and maybe take that. I don't even know if y'all know how to take it off, because some of y'all so indoctrined with it, you don't even know how to think for yourself. You just so, rah. They don't have Republican. Democrat, Republican. I'm really tired of hearing that. So tonight, this live is to show you the system, the American system, that all of us as Americans born here with birth certificates, how we can use our government system, because it's for us. Okay, period. Now, like I said, if you are on Facebook, you're probably not going to be able to see this because I'm getting ready to put this up. And let me make this announcement right now before I even start. I am hosting a free workshop on Monday. I'm hosting a free workshop on Monday which will be Columbus Day for you all. I don't celebrate no holidays. That don't matter to me. All of those are man-made days, right? And that's the other thing y'all have to understand. Pay attention to everything that America has set up. All these different holidays, how you spend your money, how certain things are pushed out to you. Okay? You got to pay attention to all of that. So again, I'm Patrice L. Stewart on YouTube. If you're not following me on YouTube, I highly recommend you go over there, like my page, like the video, follow the page. All right? Be proactive as I'm helping give this free information to you. And then on Monday, I would love for you all to be in the class. It will be at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you are Eastern Time, it will be 7 p.m. If you Pacific Time, it'll be 4 p.m. I guess for you. I think y'all are 2 hours behind us in Chicago. And then Eastern Time is an hour ahead of us. Okay. So you can text me. And again, you can see the number clearly on YouTube. But you can text me to 872-253-9272. I'll also put the link here in the videos, okay? But in order for you to see what I'm getting ready to go over tonight, come on over to the YouTube channel. I'm Patrice L. Stewart on every platform. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, okay? But I want to show y'all something. And again, the class on Monday is going over trust. So we'll be going over trust and tax planning, how you use taxes and a trust together. Okay. So even if you don't think you're ready, get in the class because we're going to be talking about a couple of things: business, credit, trust. It's a whole circle of life in the financial space, right? So me and my partner will be going over that. So let's get into tonight's topic, which is businesses. All right. And especially those of you who do have a W-2 job, how this can help you while you have a business. I mean, while you have that job, because a lot of W-2 wage earners, y'all need to know how to flip your money as well. No, the class will not be on YouTube. I'm not doing nothing. None of my classes are open like this. What I do like this is on here. When we get in the class, those are always in private community. So it's a Zoom link or a StreamYard. That's what we have. So I have a registration link. Let me just go ahead and type it right now before I get started. plstewart.club. You can just literally click the link, copy it, paste it, do whatever you need to do. You can register here. Class is Monday, 10/13 at 6 p.m. So if you register, then all we asking for is your name and email, and then we'll send you the confirmation, and then you can be updated from there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just put the information here in this link on. So I'm actually getting ready to show y'all how I live my life. How I got to separate, how I got off the corporate slave trade, how I changed my life, all by learning business, taxes, and credit. Okay. I changed my entire life, all by learning business, taxes, and credit. I don't live like everybody else does. So the difference between a business owner, someone with a business, YouTube, you can see that? Okay, yep, you can see that. Someone with the business and someone who is a W-2 wage earner, okay? And somebody put in the comments for me my YouTube link for the people that would need to come on over. And I'm going to type the workshop here, Trust Workshop. And that's Monday, 10/13 at 6 p.m. Okay, cool. All right. Now, most of you, if you have a W-2, and let's just say you made $50,000, right? Now, a lot of times when I look at you all's taxes, I could tell right away if you had enough taxes taken out or not. And again, a lot of y'all won't be able to see this on Facebook probably because it's backwards. So you may want to go over to the YouTube channel. I can tell right away if you all have had enough taxes taken out when I see your W-2, because on average, we are looking for at minimum 10% to be taken out. So if you come to me and I file your taxes and you have a $50,000 W-2, and let's say you only paid $1,000 in federal taxes, I know right away you're going to owe. What's up, Tyrone? I know right away you're going to owe federal taxes because you only had $1,000 taken out, right? And so even for you all, I need you all to learn and understand this, because if whoever you go to, if they can't explain how they're doing your taxes, if they can't tell you that you got a W-2 and you made $50,000 and then you only paid $1,000 in taxes, and they don't say that to you, then you may want to get another tax professional, okay? Because when I see clients like that and I tell them right away, you're going to more than likely owe. Because right off the gate, without me entering anything into the system, I could see you did not have 10%. So what's 10% of $50,000? What's 10% of $50,000, y'all? Because I like y'all to be interactive. I don't like to just only do all the talking. So what's 10% of 50,000? What's up, Mr. Leisure? $50,000. Alinda. Yeah, I know you meant to say 5. You typed it first, but I know what you meant. So $5,000 exactly, right? So I'm looking for, so that's $5,000 in federal taxes. I'm just put federal, $5K. So now you have $45,000. Then remember, most of us live in states that charge taxes. We are in Illinois. So Illinois charges, what's our tax rate? It's like let me look it up real quick. Illinois state income tax rate. I do numbers all day. I can't remember everything. Illinois income tax is 4.9% of your income, right? So let's just say 5%. Let's just round it up to 5%. 4.9%. So at minimum, they're looking for at least another $2,500 in state taxes. Okay. So now you made $50,000, but at the end of the year, they have already taken out $7,500 of your money. Again, anybody that's coming in on Instagram, you might want to go over to my YouTube, Instagram or Facebook. Y'all might want to go over to my YouTube channel because you can see everything clearly on my YouTube channel. Okay. Make sure I'm not in the way on YouTube. Okay. Right. And so this is what I was talking to y'all about as far as it being a system. W-2 wage earners and self-employed. I'm going to put on here self-employed businesses. Self-employed, which is that Schedule C filer. Those of y'all who love to claim that Schedule C. Oh, I got a business, right? But Schedule C filers pay about 36% in taxes. W-2 wage earners, you all are paying in taxes by your income. It's a chart, right? So you have as low as 10% all the way up to 37%. That's your tax rate, depending on how much income you make. Okay. And it staggers. So let's just say from 10,000 to 30,000, you're at 10%. Anything from 30,000 to 50,000, once you start making 50,000, they're going to calculate the next tier. All right. So you got 10%, 12%, 15, 18, all that. We're not going to go into every little detail, right? But W-2 wage earners and Schedule C, you all pay the most taxes in this country. You pay the most. All right. Now, this is why businesses set up businesses and not always on a Schedule C. And this is why I told y'all, once you are a business and you start making a certain amount of money, you should not be filing on a Schedule C after a certain income. Most of us would say once you start making around $75,000 to $100,000, it's time to restructure. You should not be filing on the Schedule C, because at this point, you're paying 36% in taxes. So let's use the example of the whole PPP loan. That video went viral about around the same amount that this video has gone viral, right? This video is probably taking it to another level because now we have other nationalities and news stations talking about what's going on in Chicago, right? But remember the PPP video, how I was breaking that down to y'all. When you filled out for that PPP loan, if you said you made $100,000, the reason why a lot of people are getting caught up today, and the reason why a lot of people are losing their jobs and getting caught up, is because you didn't file this on your taxes. You claimed a business that said you made $100,000. So what did I just say? On a Schedule C, you pay about 36%. So that means you owe the government about $36,000 in taxes, right? I don't know. It's not showing me the mirror option, Jacqueline. That's why I didn't do it. It's not showing me the mirror option on my phone. I looked for it. It used to be at the top of the screen before I started the live, but for some reason, it's not showing me the mirror option. So that's why I said you need to go to my YouTube channel. So I'm talking on here, but you can go over to my YouTube channel and you can see everything clearly. I'm Patrice L. Stewart on my YouTube channel. Okay. Maybe I should put that up here somewhere. Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. All right. I'm Patrice L. Stewart on YouTube. Same name that you're watching right now. That's the same name that's on YouTube. I'm Patrice L. Stewart on every platform. But I tried that. I tried to do the mirror. Okay. But this is why I say that to y'all, because, and this is the difference how you know when you're talking to a real tax professional as well, they will break this type of stuff down. All right. So when you are claiming $100,000 on a Schedule C, you're going to pay about $36,000 in federal taxes. So this is part of the reason why the government is coming after so many hardworking people, because unfortunately, some of you all went to these bogus people that did these different loans and things for you. And this is how they catch you up. Because when you claim that kind of money, they're looking for their cut. The same way some of you all, and you'll know, you don't have to put your business out here, but some of you all who try to file exempt, and if you notice, some of you all right now are probably getting letters or calls from the IRS or the state, especially if you live in the state of Illinois, because they have been cracking down on everybody who files exempt. And then they're telling you you owe this money because you haven't been paying into taxes. See, so when you're a W-2 worker and you self-employed on the Schedule C, they're looking for their cut. They're looking for their income. So you got to be strategic with things, with how you're doing things. All right. But let's get into why you want to have a business. I'm normally at my office on the board and all this other stuff. So work with me. I'm getting ready to put my home studio together. Okay, you can still see it on YouTube. Okay. Now, someone with a business and someone without. As a W-2 wage earner, when you're a business owner, you get to make your income, right? So let's say I made $100,000 in my business, all right? And let's say I made $100,000 with my W-2. The biggest difference is I have expenses that come with this business. It may be rent, maybe office supplies. It may be my space. I may have an actual office space that I'm paying for. I may have a vehicle that I'm writing off, right? So with the business, let's say my rent was $12,000. Then let's say my office bills was $5,000. Let's say my vehicle, I don't know, is $1,000 a month. So that's $12,000 again, right? And then you may have some other expenses. You may have other expenses. Maybe I bought some equipment for my business, right? Maybe that was $25,000. So now let's add that up. All my stuff is being used right now. Let me look. Let me see if I can pull up my calculator on here. Let's add this up. Calculator. So what I say? 12,000. And this is so impromptu. Normally, I would be set up a little different. 5,000 plus 12,000 again, plus 25,000. Okay, how much is that? So that's 54,000 in expenses. So that's 54,000 in expenses. Okay. I get to deduct this 54,000 from my 100,000. So that's 46,000. So now I'm only paying taxes on 46,000 worth of income. You got to pay taxes on this full amount. You don't get to really write off nothing with a W-2. You can't write off, you don't get to write nothing off. I'm saying you really don't get to write. You don't get to write nothing off with a W-2. With a straight W-2, right? And at minimum, remember we was talking about minimum. Now, somebody who's making 100,000, they're definitely paying more than 10%. They're probably more in that 26 to 30% tax bracket. Let me look on here. I'm gonna just say 25% at minimum, because most of my clients who do make 100,000 pay about 20,000 to 25,000 in federal taxes. That's just federal taxes. That's not including state taxes. Again, if you live in a state with no state taxes, you winning, because you're not paying that extra tax. In Illinois, we're one of the highest tax states. So remember, you're paying 4.9% in state taxes. So if you're in Illinois, you're paying about 5,000 in state taxes over here. So federal, you pay about 20,000. This is low. This is a low number. Most of my clients pay about 25,000. I'm gonna just say 20,000. And then if you are in Illinois, you're gonna have an additional almost 5,000 in taxes. So out the gate, you got taxed 25,000. That's not including, okay, right? What else y'all got off that W-2? Tell me what else you all have coming out of your W-2 check. Do you got health care? Are you paying for you and your family's health care? Are you into your 401k plan? Okay. You got all of those different things you got to factor in. And remember, if you're on Facebook, come on over to YouTube. I want to start getting more y'all on the YouTube channel, because that's where we're at. All right. Same way with Instagram. If you're logging in right now, come on over to the YouTube channel. I'm Patrice L. Stewart on YouTube. Go to YouTube, because I know you can't see the screen clearly. Like the video, like the page. Okay. Share this page, share this live right now with some people. Okay. Tonight we're talking about real stuff that affects every American citizen in the United States of America. Let's get off the politics train and let's learn the system, because this is how you're going to win. Every single one of you who live in the United States of America, this is the reason why you want to have a business. All right. When you hear me say, I changed my whole life, this is how I did it. You heard me say yesterday, my mom has not worked a job in 22 years. Because I provide and take care of everything for her. Right? So I learned taxes. I learned credit. I learned business. That's how I changed my whole life. So I don't get on here and argue about politics. Okay. Once you learn the system, you think a lot differently. You'll think a lot clearly. Because right now, a lot of you all are trapped in the matrix, and I would love to get you untrapped. So let's go back to class. The business person got to make $100,000. They had expenses, and then I'm on now. If I wanted to claim this $46,000, now I'm only paying the taxes on this $46,000. Now, if I'm again a Schedule C filer and I'm paying about 36%, let me bring the calculator back up. Right? So 46,000 times 36%. This is how much you're going to owe federal government. So you're still going to owe federal government about $16,560. Federal. $16,560. Then that's not including the state. You still got to pay your state taxes, which is about the 4.9%. Right? So the 46,000 times 4.9%. So that's $22.54. So if I was in Illinois, my taxes would be $22.54. So a business owner, you still paying less, right? Like I said, really, this is really more, you all. I'm being real frugal with this $100K. You making $100K and paying 20 bands in federal. Because it's I want to say it's more closer to 25,000. All right. But you see the difference? Just in the income alone, you pay more as a W-2 wage earner to the state versus being a business. And even on the federal side, you still pay more. All right. Now, if you were set up as a corporation, because remember, it's levels to business. You got LLC, you got corporation, you got S Corp, you got partnerships. It's different levels to business. So again, I always tell y'all that business is not a one size fits all. It's different levels to it. Okay. Again, if you can't see and you coming in, I'm on YouTube under my same name, Patrice L. Stewart. So go to YouTube because you can't see it on these other platforms. But the bottom line is if you wanted to use this W-2 money, you can start using your W-2 money to start the business. And so what some people do is when they have a W-2 and they invest in the business, they like to take a bunch of write-offs where the business shows a loss, right? Because anytime this right here, we're showing a positive income. But some of you all have filed taxes and you know what you do. And you create this business and then you have a loss. So when you have a loss, it deducts from the federal taxes that you owe. So let's say that this was a negative $46,000. If this was a negative $46,000 and you applied that to your W-2 when we're filing your taxes, you're not going to owe this much in taxes. Your tax bill going to go down considerably. Okay? Exactly, Mr. Leisure. FICA, taxes, Social Security, we still not including all of that, right? We literally only talking about federal and state. So that's the difference. In the United States of America, they have taken the system and turned you all, the workers, into basically, I call it corporate slave trade. That's what I call it. I call it corporate slave trade. It's modern day slave trade because you're working 40, some of y'all working 40 to 80 hours a week, doing a lot of work. And then before you even get to see your paycheck, that's the thing I was getting ready to say. With the W-2, you got to work for 2 weeks. Some of y'all work longer than that. Some people get paid once a month. Some people get paid every 30 days. Some people get paid every 2 weeks. Some people get paid once a week, right? It just depends on your job. But the difference is when you are W-2, you got to work for your money. And then before you even see your check, they done took all this stuff out. They took out FICA, Social Security, healthcare. So before you even see your money, do y'all understand that? Do you think do you think that this is a fair system? When those of y'all that want to get on here and say, what's not fair? Do you think that that's fair? Do you think you should be going to work for 1 to 2 weeks, haven't got a paycheck yet? You got to do the work, then you get paid, and then when you get paid, somebody then came and snatched the money out of it before you even get to see it? Baby, no. When I I was 16 when I had my first job, and I was like, this is not okay. I was questioning it. See, again, I'm different. I've been questioning things since I was 2. I'm an indigo child. Okay. We think a little different. So my entire life, I'm like, this don't make sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. And no one could tell me. Everybody was like, oh, that's just how the system is. See, I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those people that think like that's just how the system is. So very early on, right out of high school, I started studying finances. I started studying taxes. I started learning business. Right? Because I'm like, this makes no sense to me. I'm seeing people living great, as y'all say, the top 10%, doing things that the average person isn't doing. And I'm like, I want to know how to do that. I want to be like that. I want to be free. I want to be able to do what I want to do, live how I want to live. Live how I want to live, and not be on some type of constraint. How you are with these 9 to 5 jobs, right? So the difference with the W-2 wage on it is you got to work first and then you get paid. And then they have already taken taxes out. The difference with a business owner is I get to make this $100,000 first. I get to make this $100,000 first. Then I get to write off any expenses that I had to run this business. That's how we got down to the $46,000. So I got $54,000 in expenses. I'm not paying taxes on this. You get what I'm saying? So I'm only paying taxes on what my net income is. That's the difference from a W-2 wage earner. You're being taxed on this whole $100,000. And then, like we said, you still have FICA, Medicare, Social Security. Some people have high medical plans because they take care of their family. So you may have multiple people on your medical. I've seen some people medical payments, especially the city of Chicago and Cook County. Some of y'all are paying like $500 to $800 every paycheck for like health plans. It's a lot of money. I hope y'all using those doctors and going to the doctors on the regular, okay? Whatever they taking up out of your check, make sure you using those services. Even if you're not sick, go see that doctor on the regular. Y'all need to at least be scheduling 4 appointments a year with that dang on doctor to cover the amount of money that's coming out your check. Okay? But you see the difference from a business owner and a W-2 wage earner. This is why I got into business. Because when I made my first $100,000, I didn't pay taxes on that first $100,000 because my first year I had a lot of expenses. So my bottom line went down to maybe $10,000 instead of $46,000. I had so many expenses. Let's just say I had other expenses. We're gonna add some more expenses on here, right? And then now, what was we had? We was at 54. If my bottom line is 90,000, 40, 50. Why can't I think? 46,000, 46, 6, and 10. 36,000. 10. Yeah, 36,000. Why I cannot think right now? 6 is 60,000 plus 30. 30, yeah, 36,000. So if I had another 36,000 in expenses, so that give me a total of 90,000 in expenses. Now my bottom line is I'm only paying 10,000 in taxes. So now I'm not paying 16,000. What's 36% of 10,000? Around 3,600. Now my tax bill went to 3,600. And again, this is only if I'm filing as a Schedule C filer. If I'm a corporation, if I'm an S corp, then your taxes are different. We're not filing on a Schedule C. We file on a different tax form. These file on an 1120. This is an 1120S, and this is an 11. What's the partnership form? 1065. 1065. right? So all of these are different forms from the IRS. So like I said, as you grow in business, your structure will be different. The more income you start making, then your structure will change. Anybody that's just coming in, I know you can't see it on Facebook. Go to my YouTube channel. I'm Patrice L. Stewart. You can see it clearly on YouTube. Instagram, you can go to my YouTube channel. I'm Patrice L. Stewart on YouTube, and you can see the board. You can see it clearly. Okay. Every single one of you that are on here can do this. Now, I understand everybody don't want to start a business. Everybody doesn't want a brick and mortar. But let me talk to you about when I say start a business, because it doesn't always have to be something that you're necessarily selling, right? It could be like you're providing a service, just like me. My industry, taxes, business consulting, that is a service-based business. So also when you have a service-based business, you're not paying certain type of taxes, right? Now, like if I had clothing, like a lot of you all like clothing. So some of you sell an item. If you sell a product, you sell a pen, you sell a shirt, you sell a mug, you have to pay sales tax. So that's a whole nother other different thing over here, okay? So I like service-based businesses, because service-based businesses, we don't pay sales tax. If I charge you $1,000 to do your corporate taxes, I don't have to pay sales tax. I don't have to pay sales tax for charging you $1,000 to do that service. Now, if I sold you 1,000 shirts, I have to now pay sales tax on selling you those shirts because it's a product. Okay, so with products, you have to add that sales tax. Okay, but when you're a service-based business, you don't have that sales tax. So whatever you do in your job, I don't know what some of y'all do, just throw it out there. Whatever you do in your job, whatever you do in your job from day to day, is that something that you can do outside of your job? Let me know in the chat. Whatever you do in your day-to-day job, because I want to use one of y'all example with what I'm talking about. Whatever you do in your job, is that something that you can do and provide a service on your own? I know you didn't know that, Mary. This is not taught. That's why I'm the realist tax and business strategist. And no, again, let me reintroduce myself, because we got a lot of new people here. While y'all answering those questions for me, whatever you do in your business, can you do it on your own as a service that you can provide on your own to the public? So while you answering that, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce myself once again. We're 45 minutes into the live already, but anyway, right? I'm Patrice L. Stewart. I'm the realist tax and business strategist. I have that trademarked. Okay, I've been in financial services over the last 22 years. I worked in my more recent job that I was in was banking. I worked in a banking, accounting, and banking, accounting, and then I worked for an electrical distribution company as an admin, as an administrative manager, basically running their office, right? But my last job, I worked for a big box bank, and when I got let go in 2013, of March of 2013, I decided not to go back to corporate America. I had already started my business, okay, part-time while I was working for the bank. So I started my company and I set up a corporation in 2008. All right. So I was doing my taxes, my business consulting on the side from 2008 to 2013. When I got let go of March of 2013, I was like, I'm not going back to corporate. I can't do this. I want to be free. I want to be able to control my life, my time, my income. I was making $40,000 a year working at that bank. And remember, when you're a W-2 wage earner, I wasn't really making $40,000 because we had to pay taxes. I had to pay federal taxes. I was paying FICA, Social Security, right? Paying for my health care. So when you start taking those expenses out, you're not bringing home $40,000 a month. After those expenses, I probably was bringing home $32,000 a year, $30,000, right? When I decided to bet on myself, Me, my skill set, my mind, my work ethic, my grind, my hustle. We from Chicago. We know how to get it in and hit the ground, hit the pavement. All right. Most of y'all that live in big cities the same way, New York, LA. If you from a big city, you should be a hustler. You should know how to move around because it's different living in a big city, right? So I took my brain, my book smart, street smart. That's why my shirt say book smart, street smart. I'm book smart. I'm hood and educated. Don't get it twisted. That's why some of y'all was on here talking crazy on my post and I was clapping back because I'm hood and educated. I'm book smart, street smart. At the end of December 2013, I had made $98,733. And that's what I put in my bank account. Because I literally printed out my bank statements from May through December so I could see exactly how much money I had made in that business. I basically almost 3 times my income. I was making $40,000, remember, for the whole year. In less than 6 months, I had basically made $98,000. Grinding, hustling on my own. And guess what? I got to keep majority of that money because I was a business. So all my expenses, everything that I had to pay, everything that I was doing, I didn't have to pay income taxes on that. Because in your first couple of years of business, a lot of businesses are in the red. You have expenses, you have things you have to do. You get what I'm saying? So that is how people who own a business, some of y'all think people are like balling out. No. Business owners have double expenses because you have a business and then you also have your life and your personal. So when y'all go to businesses, I need y'all to start understanding and being more respectful to business owners. Stop asking for discounts. Stop treating business owners like they not hard workers, like they balling. That's the fact. Whoever y'all see out here with all that extra glamour, Gucci gold, that most of them are scammers. Let's be clear. Real business owners are working in their business, grinding in their business. They're not out here flying everywhere here and there. Them be scammers. Y'all need to know and understand the difference. Because, baby, I was working 14 to 16 hours every single day building this company and business up. But I would be rather working 14 hours for myself than working 14 hours for a corporation. And no offense, white people, but most corporations are white owned. Let's be clear. So I was not okay with working for a white-owned corporation that I would never get no benefits from. Luckily, that bank did have a profit share program. I still get a couple of profit share payments today from them because that's what I still got left. But I transferred my 401k out. Okay. So if you really want to build stuff, we have to learn the system. And it's not many people on the internet and for free. I'm on here talking to you for free. I'm not charging you $100,000, $10,000 to learn this. Everything I do have been doing for the last 10 years on this internet has been like this, giving you free game, which is why I'm not doing it too much. This information is basic. So if I'm teaching you this for free, imagine what you're going to get in the workshop on Monday. So let's take that information down right now, and then I'm going to go through the comments to see who listed the job that they have that they could do as a service-based business. So if you are interested in what I'm talking about, if you are interested in learning more, you can go right here. You can text this phone number, or you could click the link down here that I have in the comments on YouTube, and you can register. It's completely free. My business partner and I are hosting this tax and trust planning class for you all. It will be held Monday, the 13th, October 13th at 6 p.m. It will be on private Zoom, private StreamYard. I think we're doing it on StreamYard, private StreamYard. So I will not be on YouTube and Facebook. This will not be live. Private workshop Monday, 10/13. All we asking for is your name and your email to register. I'm not even taking your phone number to be trying to send you nothing. 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. I typed it in the YouTube link. I need some air. They're hot. It's light in my face. Okay. If you're not clicking the link, then my phone number is 872-253-9272. And you could text trust, and then I will send the link to your phone for that. But the class will be going over asset protection, income, wealth, generational wealth building, and trust, how to set up your trust. So the same way that I'm showing you how a W-2 worker versus a business owner, that's exactly how I'm showing you on Monday in the trust class. I'm going to show you how if you had a business and how if you had this business set up under a trust, you're not even going to be paying this much in taxes. It's going to be a whole nother other layout. So that's what Gary and I will be teaching you on Monday is if you decided to fix your credit, if you decided to open up a business, if you decided to buy assets, real estate, things like that, and then you put them life insurance. Only thing, the minimum thing you need to start a trust is a life insurance policy. You don't have to be a homeowner. You don't have to own real estate right now. That's the goal though. That's what we teach. Ownership, land, property, real estate, owning your business, owning the, you know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. Not to be renters your whole life. Y'all are paying rent to people who own a building. Every single place that we go in, from the restaurant to your job to where you living, is a property. That property is worth something. That property is owned by someone. All right? So you can be an owner as well. You have to start thinking like that. If you're not thinking about no type of ownership, then I don't know what y'all gonna do. Because if you're not paying attention right now to the market and to how these things are happening, corporations are buying up houses. Corporations are buying up property here in Chicago, in a lot of cities. That shouldn't even be allowed. The fact that Chase can, or whatever companies can just go and buy 100 properties in your community, y'all are not paying attention. Y'all are not paying attention. That's not okay. So if you don't get on the same playing field, that's why I'm telling you, get off the politics arguing with each other about red or blue and learn the system. Because nobody coming to save you. That's your false narrative that either party is here to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. And they literally just gave away all your reparations, freed men and women, Sulan people. They just gave all your reparations to somebody else, right in your face. While you on here arguing with each other about red and blue. Get up off the matrix. Get up off the blue pill. Now, again, if you on here and you can't see the board, go to my YouTube channel. I'm Patrice L. Stewart. Who else is having an issue registering with the link? It should be plstewart.club/trust. I just opened it up. Did you add the S at the end? You got to add the S at the end. And the phone number is 872-253-9272. Text trust. Is anybody else having an issue with the link? Because then, Cheryl, that might just be you. I haven't heard anybody else say they had an issue, but maybe they haven't clicked it yet because they're listening to what I'm saying. Everybody that's watching the live on YouTube, please hit the like button. Go ahead also and hit the follow button, but hit the like button on this video. That helps me out while I'm giving you this free game. Again, if you're on Facebook, come on over to YouTube. I'm Patrice L. Stewart on every platform. The link is in the comments. I literally just typed it in, so I don't know if you all see it or not. And then if you don't see the link on YouTube, here's the phone number. I'm just leave it like this. Because I'm pretty much done with this part, with this example. I wanted to just show y'all that part. The rest of this is we're going to get into talking. Let me move my head out the way. Again, I'm Patrice L. Stewart on YouTube. You can come on over to the YouTube channel. Facebook, this live won't be on after this anyway. I remove all the lives off of Facebook. Okay. But this was the example. A business making 100,000. Both make 100,000. The business made 100,000. The W-2 made 100,000. A business owner gets to write off their expenses, and they're only going to pay taxes on the bottom line. Don't call the number. Y'all call the number. Don't call the number. Just text the number, okay? Don't call the number. Just text it, okay? Right. So again, I made 100,000 in my business, but I had 90,000 in expenses. I'm only paying taxes on 10,000. You, as a W-2 wage earner, you make 100,000. You're gonna pay about 20 to 25,000 in taxes, and then you also are going to pay state taxes for those of you all who are in states that have a tax. You can't, and you don't have nothing to write off as a W-2 wage earner. The gas that you go back and forth driving to work, you can't write that off. And remember, they took off a lot of the itemized. So those of you all who used to get reimbursed by your employer, a lot of you don't even get the employer reimbursement write-off anymore either, because they took a lot of stuff off the itemized. The other thing I'm gonna start really teaching y'all is, and I know again, and this is why I want y'all to start getting out your feelings. I really want y'all to start thinking emotionally intelligent. A lot of people show that they do not have emotional intelligence. I want you to start learning something. I want you to get out of your feelings, because a lot of the stuff that I've talked to y'all about, especially when it comes to the tax code, I use Donald Trump, and I use him for a reason. One, y'all can't stand him. Okay. And so if you hate him or you feel he's your enemy, learn the old grasshopper ways. Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi always teach you how to study your enemy. All right. That's what a wise grasshopper does. If you feel you have an enemy, you study your enemy. You watch your enemy. You see how your enemy moves. You don't get all up in your feelings about it, because that does nothing. You got to start using your brain and be strategic. How can I fight the enemy? Or how can I, if you can't, what's the old saying? If you can't beat them, join them. So if you mad that Trump didn't pay no taxes, if you mad that Bezos didn't pay no taxes, if you mad that Elon Musk and all of these people have made hundreds of millions of dollars and they haven't paid a dime in taxes, you have not once yet, grasshopper, to think, well, how can I do the same? So this is what I want y'all to start doing, changing your mind up and start asking these type of questions. Because let me tell you something, the tax code, it has no color. Every single one of you can follow the rules of the IRS tax code. And if you didn't know this, the IRS is an independent system. The IRS is not a federal government agency. Come on, Mary. Teach them something, baby. The IRS is an independent industry. Y'all know what I'm saying. The IRS is not directly under the federal government. They are a hired agency that is hired by the federal government. So think of them as a collection agency. When they calling you all and people be all afraid and scared and, oh, the IRS is coming. All you got to do is follow the rules. All you got to do is follow the laws. All you got to do is follow someone and work with someone like myself who knows it. I don't expect you to know the tax code. Just the same way somebody put on here, they a property manager. If you a doctor, you a heart surgeon, you a teacher. I'm not going to know how to go in and teach and educate kids at 5th grade and in kindergarten, or teach reading and social studies, right? I wouldn't expect you to know that. So that's the same thing. That's why you have to know who you're talking to and who you're working with, because a lot of y'all be working with scammers. And if any of y'all taxes say self-prepared at the bottom of your paperwork, then you're not dealing with a tax professional. Because we don't file on a self-prepared system. I don't file on TurboTax. I have a real tax software called Drake. Drake software is one of the most sophisticated softwares. We're directly connected with the IRS. Drake software and I would say Crosslink are probably the top two real softwares that CPAs, tax attorneys, accountants use. A lot of the people that y'all go to using TurboTax, TaxSlayer, don't nah. Like like the more experienced tax professionals, we don't use them type of systems. You're not going to have self-prepared on your taxes if I file your taxes. I'm registered with the IRS. I'm an e-file agent with the IRS. I had to go through background check, fingerprints, all of that stuff. It's a difference. Exactly. From letting Pookie and them do your taxes in the basement on TurboTax, which is how a lot of y'all got into the system, into the situations y'all got, especially with the whole PPP loan stuff. So you got to know and understand who you're working with. And you can learn that by listening to people. If they can't explain stuff to you, if they don't know anything, when you ask certain questions, then you're not talking to the right person. Okay? So I want you to start respecting professionals again, because a lot of y'all have let social media run your mind with all of these things, and they give you this little bit, oh, go buy a Benz and go buy a G-Wagon and you can write it off. And please stop listening to these fake influencers. Okay? Please stop listening to these fake influencers, because a lot of y'all are stuck with stuff that y'all cannot afford. So many people went out here and bought all them trucks and the trucking industry, listening to all of these circle of CEOs and certain people on the internet, especially Atlanta. All right? We ain't finna go there. I be trying to keep people name up out my mouth from blasting certain people, but you get what it is. Real professionals, we don't have mug shots either. You're not going to go on and see a mug shot of me. Let me just also put that out there. So real professionals, we don't have mug shots. Okay? Now, let's get back to the class. Again, get in the class by texting on Monday. Put this up here. You can get into the class by texting that number. And I'm trying to move my head out the way a little bit. So whoever come on here later, y'all could still get into the class. All right, that's what we're going to do. And again, if you are on Facebook or Instagram, you can't see anything behind me, but I'm pretty much done with the board. But I'm on my YouTube channel. You can always come to my YouTube channel. All right. Patrice L. Stewart. So I want to answer who responded to that. So who responded on my YouTube channel is, and I always answer questions from YouTube first. Any kind of business. Okay, let me go back up. There y'all go answering. So you say, I'm in property management leasing. That's a very good business, D3. I'm gonna call you D3. You gotta true. That's why I have my wholesale license retail. Great. Graphic design, that's a huge business right now. Huge business service to offer. A lot of entrepreneurs and people like me need graphic design. We need flyers. We need sales funnels done. We need business cards. So graphic design is a great industry to be in, especially with AI and everything right now. Company truck driver. Okay, if you're a company truck driver, I know right now with the trucking industry, a lot of people don't want to do their own, what's it called when y'all got your own license? I forgot. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When you are owner operator. I've set up probably 30 LLCs this last year from a lot of men who are leaving being a company truck driver to owning their own company, having their own owner operator company, right? Which means you have your CDL, you can start and own your own truck and vehicle. And you all don't always have to own with a 18-wheeler. You could do a box truck, you could do a van, you can do dry van services. There are so many different things, medical delivery, right? So a lot of times, again, on that internet, they was pushing so many of y'all to buy those 18-wheelers. And unfortunately, I have so many people who have lost so much money because they went and financed these trucks, but they didn't know how to go and get the loads. They didn't know how to go and put that truck on the road, right? And so this is why you cannot be just listening to random people on the internet who telling you to do this and do that, and you don't have a full game plan, okay? So, graphic design, company truck, IT customer support. Again, CC, that is a great thing. There is a young white man that I deal with. His name is Andy. He is independent. I call Andy. I say, Andy, this is going on with my computer. He logs in, fixes it up, and he sends me an invoice. Andy probably charged me $185 for doing an hour worth of work. Right? I think his hourly rate is like $55 to $100 an hour, depending on what he got to do. So if you had two clients that needed your help at $55 to $100 an hour, you can make anywhere between $100 to $300 every day on the side. So this is how I need you to think. Whatever you're doing in your day-to-day job, is that something that you can do on your own, starting your own business? Because this is the benefit of if you have a business and you have a W-2, the smartest ones have the W-2 and start the business at the same time. That's how I did. That's how I don't have kids. So some of y'all was getting, tax refunds. That's how I was able to get a little bit of a tax refund in my first couple of years of business, because my W-2 job, right, making that $40,000, but my business over here and the business expenses that I had, I was able to merge those two incomes together. And normally it helps save you some money in paying taxes, right? And there's a thing called a home office deduction when you are a Schedule C tax filer. If you're a corporation, you don't get a home office deduction. If you're an S Corp, you don't get a home office deduction. But if you're a Schedule C, self-employed, single member LLC, you all have a home office deduction. So if you have an area in your home, let's say your house is 1,000 square feet, and you have an area like I am sitting right here, right? Let's say that's 100 square feet. I get to write off 10%. The IRS allows you to write up off to 30%. 30% is the maximum if you're doing the simple home office deduction. You have a simple method, and then you have a I want to use the right terminology. I forgot the terminology for it, but let's just say you got a simple and a non-simple, right? Maybe I'll say simple and more advanced, right? But it's another term for it. But you have a simple method, and then you have a more advanced method. For simple method, they will let you write up to 30% off of your home office. But that 30% depends on your square footage. So if you have a 300 square foot office space in your house, then you writing off 30%. If you got a 200 square foot office, you writing off 20%. If you have a 100 square foot office or space, then let's just say for the sake of time, you writing off 10%. But 10% off of what? You get to write off 10% of your rent or mortgage payment every single month. So if my mortgage is paying, again, we're going to keep the numbers just simple. If my mortgage payment is $1,000 a month, that's $100 every month that I get to write off. At the end of the year, that's a $1,200 deduction. You don't get that with a W-2. You can't write nothing off with this W-2. You don't get no write-offs. Remember that. That W-2, you get nothing, no write-offs. Now, if you were 1099, and I didn't say that earlier. So when I say business, that also, so 1099 workers. So those of you that drive Uber, Lyft, those of you that are independent contractors, you are a business. And a lot of you don't understand and know that, because when you come to me to do your taxes, I'm like, okay, what's your expenses? You don't know. You all have to know who you are and how you're filing. Okay? It's a difference. If you are a 1099 worker, you are a business. You are an independent contractor. In the eyes of the IRS, you are a business. That's why you're a 1099. So guess what? You do get to write off expenses. This is why the W-2 wage earner cannot. You're a salaried employee. Salaried employees, y'all don't get to write off nothing. So actually, if your job offers one or the other, this is why a lot of people choose to be an independent contractor, because now, guess what? You get to write off your gas. You using your car. So if you're driving to work every single day, or you driving for the company, again, let's use Uber as an example. If you're driving Uber and you get that and you're a 1099 contractor, the gas that you're putting in that car, you get to write that off. The mileage that's on your vehicle, you get to write that off. If you're driving 20, 30 miles a year on your car driving Uber, you should be writing that off. That's not something that you should be leaving on the table. You leaving money on the table. If you buying people water, candy, mints, that's a tax deduction. That's a write-off. Okay? This is the American system that they don't teach you. You don't learn this in the system. Your kids won't learn this. You will never notice. This is why some of y'all on here like, wow, I didn't know that. And that's really a shame. Not on you, but it's a shame that you don't know that. It's a shame that you've never come across somebody like me that teaches this. I've been on the internet 10 plus years, especially on Facebook. This is why I get so frustrated with y'all on Facebook. Because I'm like, I've been on Facebook minimum 10 years. Talking like this, teaching this. But in life, I've learned people got to go through stuff. Y'all got to go through all of these emotions or things to happen for some, for you to catch wave of something. So now God like, okay, Patrice, it's time to come back on. And it's crazy that he been telling me this. It's crazy he been having this conversation with me for the last couple of months. And I literally just randomly made that live the other day, walking down the street from City Hall. Like not even know what was going on in the world and how the world was, talking about Chicago. I didn't even know that, y'all. I promise. I saw one video that had the 98%, that said the 98% Black people, and it pissed me off seeing that it said 98% Black people. I saw that one video come down my feed, and that's when I made that video that y'all saw. I did not know what was going on. I had no clue. Okay. So that's why I said literally your whole entire life could change in a second, in a day, if you just be obedient. I literally was walking down the street, minding my business, running to the car because I had to go and get another document that they was telling me that I needed. So people that's on there talking smack, talking about, oh, you breathing hard. I was breathing hard because I was just running, trying to get to my car to get back into the facility before they closed. So I was like, and literally it was like, at that moment, God literally was like, I need you to make this video. It was not planned at all. At all. I literally made that video, posted it, and went on about the rest of my day. And then next thing I know, I get all type of notifications and people calling me and texting me and Patrice, you viral again, and this and this and that. And I'm like, what? So then that's when I went to the building. Because again, I'm from South Shore. I have property in South Shore. So I was getting over there to go over there anyway. I'm like, well, let me stop by this building since I see some people talking crap, talking about, well, do I really live in Chicago? Okay, let me pull up then. So when I first was coming on here, I was cussing y'all out a little bit because I was mad. I'll be frustrated with y'all. I really be frustrated with y'all because y'all just don't understand the system. But the other day, my friend talked to me. Yes, was this yesterday when I got on? This was yesterday, I told y'all. So today is Tuesday. What's today? Tuesday. So this was Monday night, Sunday night, Monday night, Sunday night. My friend talked to me and I went to the water. I went to God and I talked and he poured into me. And he was like, I need you to get back on. I need you to get back on. I need you to do what you really do. Not what they think you do. Like I said, I'm not a politician. I'm not in here for politics. I'm here to change your life. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to educate you on the real system, the real enemy, which is the system, not each other. I need y'all to get off the politic game, the politrick. That's what I call it. Politrick game. Get off the red and the blue pill and learn this system. Learn taxes, money, credit. Listen to me. Get in these workshops. Do what I tell you to do. And I promise your entire life will change if you do the work. If you do the work, it's that simple. It's not hard. It's a system. We following a system. We following the laws, the rules that the Americans put in place. As y'all say, your forefathers, they were all business owners and entrepreneurs. Why you think you got these corporations? How you think you got the S&P 500? How you think you got the stock market? They all created these companies and businesses to make the money. But the system is to put you as a W-2 wage earner. The system is to tell you to go and buy your house first, buy your car first, so you could be in debt because they're taking the money before you even see it. That's the system. Y'all don't need to be on here fighting and arguing with each other. Okay, I'm gonna teach you the game. So let's use, so you said marketing. Okay, all of these. I like all of y'all. All of y'all got some good things on here. Property management, graphic design, IT, all of this. Ladies say all kinds of businesses. I do Mary Kay, marketing specialist, Avon sales, work from home. You was hustling, sister. Girl, I remember them days. I don't want to do all that no more, okay? And I'm gonna also say this to you. I'm gonna be honest with you because other people won't. That's why I'm the realist tax and business strategist. People don't take you seriously when you got all those different hustles. I was doing that in the beginning too when I first left corporate America. I was doing taxes. I was doing credit. I was selling body works. I was selling it wraps. At one point, I think I was selling purses. No, that was when I was younger. I was selling purses in my 20s. I used to go to the nail shops. I used to go to New York, buy bags from Chinatown, come back here to Chicago. I was going around selling purses in the nail shops. I was hustling, baby. I was doing that at like 18, 19, right? So when you got that hustle in you, you just going to be hustling, okay? But I wanted to say that to, who is that? Not Cheryl. Sarah J. Thompson, that say all these different things you do. The reality, Sarah J., is people are not taking you seriously because you're doing all of these different things. And I'm going to tell you, people watch you sometimes for years before they decide to work with you because they want to see if you're serious. Because you have a lot of people that come on here, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And then 6 months later, you see them doing something else. Then 6 months later, they doing something else, right? So people don't take you seriously because they see that you haven't developed a skill set. You haven't developed your craft. You hustling. But the average person not going to tell you that. But this is what I teach my business mentees all the time. You want to learn and find one thing. You want to learn one skill set and build on that skill set. Let that skill set make you an enormous amount of money. That's going to be your cash cow, as we call it, right? You're going to have a business, that one business that's going to make you your cash cow. And then you can start putting your hands in other pots. But I'm going to tell y'all this too. Realistically, you cannot build multiple businesses. That makes no sense. So when I have clients like, I got 3 businesses I want to do. And I always say, pick one. Because that's impossible for you to build 3 businesses at one time. I'm getting ready to tell you that. That's the truth. Now, you can go and waste your money and your time, and then 10 years later, you still be looking silly, unfortunately, right? So take it from somebody who's been there, done that. Okay, I've already done a lot of this stuff, so I'm giving you all the game to get there quicker than me. No one takes you seriously being all over the place. All right, a master, what's the old saying? You are a, my whole mind just went completely blank. You are a something, but a master of none. Y'all know the term. I can't remember the whole first sentence. My mind just went whole blank. You are something. You are a jack of all trades and a master of none. There we go. No one takes you seriously when you're a jack of all trades or a Jill of all trades. Okay. So pick one of those. Whichever one is going to make you the most money right now. That's what I want you to do. And not even necessarily what's going to make you the most money. Let me not say that. Let me rephrase that. Let me not say that. Because a lot of times the one that's going to necessarily make you the most money may not be what you really want to do long term. It depends, right? There we go. Student of many, master of none. Or sometimes I say, but that's the real saying, I think, versus a jack of all trades or a master of none, right? So I was just about to say something else, but again, my whole train of thought just went out the door. I saw a comment and it just made me think a whole nother way. So I'll come back to that. Lincoln. Real estate investment trust is a good start. REIT, REIT. Entity, keep a hospital pharmacy technician. Text sent. I'm ready for the shift. Let's roll. Car maintenance. Hey, you know everybody need a little car work done, right? You see those all the time on the block, especially in the hood. You see somebody with the garage up, right? Car maintenance. Hey, that is a business. That is a service that you can provide on the side outside of your job. And again, the question was, whatever you do in your day-to-day job, what can you do as a service outside of your job? Okay. Again, we want to focus on service because you don't pay sales tax, right? Remember, service-based industry, we don't pay sales tax. If you have a product, a mug, a t-shirt, a pen that you're selling, anytime you're selling something, you have to pay sales tax on that. Whenever you are providing a service, because the body, I'm doing the service, I'm filling out the taxes, I don't have to pay sales tax on that. Okay. So I would recommend thinking of a service base to start out with. Now, if you want to do a product, perfect. Do your own thing. Now, don't let me stop you. Okay, now I'm cold. I got the L too much. Let me cut that down. Now I'm in here like, oh, I'm a little cold. I'm on YouTube as well. Okay, y'all. So just so you know, I like you to be on YouTube versus the other platforms. I think I'm actually going to go on my TikTok for a little bit. So anybody that's on Instagram, you can come on over to my YouTube channel. I'm Patrice L. Stewart on YouTube because I'm going to hang up on here and I'm going to get on TikTok for a little bit. I'll probably stay on here about another half hour with y'all. So Patrice L. Stewart on YouTube. Come on over there, Instagram. So I'm going to get off on this one and I'm going to get on my TikTok page. So I have a new TikTok page. I need all of y'all to learn it. To follow it. It's called Learn from Patrice. Because my main TikTok page with the 90,000 followers, they won't let me go live on there anymore because so many people reported my content. They be hating. I told y'all they don't like when I get on here and tell y'all the truth. And this is why I'm not licensed. Because when you have a licensed CPA, enrolled agent, whenever you're licensed in financial services, they don't like this. You can't be online teaching and sharing all of this real information. You're limited to what they want you to say. So this is why I never got a license. I'm very well versed in things, but this is why I'm not licensed by anybody. So I can keep my mind and my voice free to do what I want to do and speak and share the information. That's why I have my own private community. That's why we have a private paid community. What did I just say? Why you need a business as an American, why you need a business. What did I make this title for y'all? What was this? Why do you need a business? Why every American needs a business. That's what I put. Why every American needs a business. Copy. Okay, so I'm going to go live on this Learn from Patrice page, which is my new page. It's real new. It's still new. People was like, I didn't know if it was you or not, because I know you always say you don't have a real page. But even on my main page, Patrice L. Stewart on TikTok, I have in there, follow my new page, Learn from Patrice, so y'all know it's really me. But let me go on here because we do got a couple of followers. So let me just go live. Why you need a business. Okay. All right. Thank y'all for being patient with me. Okay. I have not been through Facebook comments real quick. So let me just scroll through just to make sure I didn't miss too much. Okay, look like Jacqueline, maybe for the okay, that was Jacqueline asking. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I Facebook for a long time wouldn't even let me go live. For a moment I was shut down. But at the top, it used to show the mirror option. It doesn't show me the mirror option anymore. So, Mary, you say, I want to be a life coach and positive psychology coach. I'm a counselor that's not licensed. Okay, Mary, but you're already in that space. You're a counselor. So, you might not be able to formally counsel, but maybe you could start a group. Maybe you could start a group for whatever, I don't know what topic you deal with, life coach, right? Maybe you could start a group. There's nothing wrong with starting a group, right? You could start a group where you're having conversations with people about their life and things like that. Maybe you're not necessarily coaching them, right? Maybe they're, how you go to the AA meetings, it can be something like that. Maybe you've created a group or a private community and space for people who want to learn more under the life coach thing. You get what I'm saying? So I need y'all to know and understand that whatever you do in your day-to-day job is a lot of times is what I tell some of my business mentees to start with first. If you don't have a direct business idea, do what you already doing every day in life, right? Because people be thinking like, well, I don't really want a business. I don't want, because you be thinking that it's a brick and mortar. You don't have to have a brick and mortar. Just how I'm sitting here talking to you, right? I do this for my paid community. I have a paid private community that I get on here and talk to and pour into. And we teaching, but it's a lesson plan. You get what I'm saying? During the pandemic, I had clients who were teachers. Remember, schools were shut down. So I had a teacher that could not be in school and could not educate. So what did we do? I helped her create her own educational academy. Right? Once you're a teacher, you're already licensed or certified. Y'all have to have something to be a teacher, right? So during that time in the pandemic, when she couldn't be in the schools, you got Zoom. So I helped her strategize and create an entire school, online school. She never went back to corporate America. She never went back to the school system. She still teaches her online school today to the kids. And the last we talked, she was at $20,000 a month. If you got 2,000 kids and you charging their parents $100 a month, that's $20,000 a month. So she didn't have to go back to the school system because they're not paying y'all enough anyway to be teachers and educators. Let's be clear. TikTok, hello. I'm on here late. I've been on YouTube and Facebook for the last hour and a half. So you all are only going to get 30 minutes on here out of me. But I wanted to come over here to the new page that I started because my other page, I cannot go live on that page. So my main page on TikTok is Patrice L. Stewart. It has about 90,000 followers. But I created this new page called Learn from Patrice. Okay. So we've been on here and we've been talking about why you need to have a business in America. If you live in the United States of America, you are an American citizen. This is a reason why you want to be here and listen to this conversation. And if you didn't get to listen to the beginning, then all you got to do is come over to the YouTube channel once the video uploads and you can watch the replay. All right. You can watch the beginning of it, but you all did miss the first hour and a half. Unfortunately, I was on Instagram first. So Mary says, I did merge my business deductions to my personal, even when I didn't make money. I bought classes and master classes and use that as deductions. Is a tax deduction the full dollar amount or a portion of what you bought? So it depends on the deduction. It's thousands of tax deductions. So there's no one size fits all to everything. So some do have a limit, some is a portion, some could be the full write-off. Okay, so I can't say that for sure on here because I don't know what your business is and things like that, right? So I just like to be transparent with that. Business is not a one size fit all. Everybody is different. And all industries are different. Like I'm in the tax and business consulting. Somebody else is a truck driver. Somebody else is a property manager. Somebody else is a graphic designer, right? All of those are different industries. So every industry is different. I don't answer free questions in my inbox. I do have a phone consultation that you can book for me. I have a basic little 15-minute call, pick my brain session. I think that's like $69 for 30 minutes with me. And then I think my tax inquiry call is $37. That's 15 minutes with me. So I don't answer any detailed questions on this free internet because I'm already giving you free game. All right. So just know if you inbox me any type of questions, my assistant is going to send you a booking link to book an appointment for questions because I don't answer people questions in detail on that inbox. Okay. Okay. Mary said, I'm 29. I don't know the numbers part, but I'm very much focused on building wealth and investments. And that's it, Mary. That's all you need. You're a great age. You can invest. You can learn some things. You don't have to know the numbers. That's one of the things I love about myself, right? I know some numbers and I can show you some numbers. So don't worry about that. You're in the right place, right? Long as you got the mindset, you want more. That's all I want. I want people who want more. I don't want people who are limited. People who think this is the way the country is. People after us, they doing that. That's a limited mindset. That's more on a weaker totem pole mindset. We don't roll like that over here. We big energy over here. We big things, big goals, right? If you know you want to make $1 million, you can make $1 million. If you know you want to get out the hood and you want a mansion somewhere, that can happen. If you believe it, if you do the work. But if you always in a mindset of, oh, well, this is hot stuff. If you always negative, then you're going to have a negative life. It's just that simple. It's power in the tongue. Power in the tongue. That's why I'm very careful with what I say and how I talk. It's power in the tongue, baby. Everything I've wanted in life, I've got because I've spoke it. I see it. I believe it. Can't nobody tell me that I'm nothing less than that. You can't tell me I'm the shit because I know I'm the shit. Whether you believe it or not, I wake up every day. Good morning, queen. Huh. You get what I'm saying? You got to understand that. So as long as it's here, and you can believe it and you can see it and you can think it, then it will happen. You can achieve it. Let's roll, Mary. You say, I thought about it before you even said it. So this confirmation, God do that too. God do that too. That's part of him telling you that it's real, right? If you thinking about it and then it come across your feed, that's him telling you it's real. If you seeing angel numbers, a lot of people been talking about that. Every time I look at the clock is 222, 111, 333, 555. Baby, them confirmations. Pay attention. Whenever I'm thinking something and I look at the clock and that angel number is there, that's letting me know that's confirmation. I'm thinking the right way. All right. I'll put it down here. The main booking link, Amisha, are you asking for? My main booking link to get on the phone with me, that's the Book Me site here. To book a call with Patrice. Book a call with Patrice. Okay, so let's get back to this because I want to answer any questions. For those of you who've been on here long enough, because we've been on here an hour and a half. If you have a question right now, go ahead and do it. What's up, Dave? My longtime friend, Dave. Dave was the one who helped me reprogram my mindset the other day. Dave you got to have people in your life that know you, man. Dave had to have a call with me and pull me in, man. I appreciate that. And that was my confirmation because I was thinking that God was telling me that. And then he sent Dave to call me and we had a whole hour and a half, 2-hour conversation. And I've been rolling ever since. I've been on the last 2 days on straight energy. Right? That's it. Like, it's that simple. You had a conversation, he going to send you confirmation. If you're doing what he wants you to do, what the Most High wants you to do. Because we always say he, but you really don't know who up there. So that's why I say the Most High. Most High God, baby. Okay, I think I answered everybody. Oh no, Omisha, the Zoom link is the trust link. So the Zoom link for Monday to go over trust and taxes and credit and business and how this whole system that we live in America works, that is the trust link. So that's the plstewart.club/trust. I'm typing it on here right now. Hold on. plstewart.club/trust. Trust, TRUSTS. Zoom class for Monday. And it's free. It's free. Okay. All right. I see the link. D3 say full transparency. I started an insurance business in 2020, got licensed, got the LLC, quit my job, put my whole into it, and then it failed miserably. So I've been scared to try again. Nope, D3, let me tell you something. There's no such thing as failure, especially when you try. I feel like failure is when you don't try. If you leave this earth and you wanted to do things and you never did it, the grave is full of people who thought they had more time. I'm going to tell you that. Let me say that again. The graveyard is full of people who thought they had more time or wanted to do things and never did them. So D3, you did not miserably fail. It just didn't work out. That's the terminology we're going to start using. Okay. It just didn't work out. That's how I look at everything. I have started several businesses. The one that lasted, and this is why I'm telling y'all to stick to one thing. When y'all come to me and we do these business consultations and you tell me, I got 3 businesses. I got 3 businesses I'm trying to do right now. I always laugh in my head like, bless your soul. Bless your little soul. You just so ambitious. Right? But like I said, the reality is you're not starting 3 businesses. You're not starting 3 businesses. You're not about to flourish doing 3 businesses at one time, because running one business is enough. All right. So don't be scared. This time, now that you know what you did before, what lessons did you learn from that, D3? That's what I need you to understand. Write down what you feel went wrong. And then write down what lessons you learned from it. Because now you know when you start this next business, you're not going to do that. Right? So please do not be scared to start another business, especially if it's on your heart, if it's on your mind to start another one. Okay? And I love you for being fully transparent. That's what we do around here. This is the real. This is if any page on the internet is the realest page you're going to come across where we're transparent and open and honest, is here. Hello. Welcome to the team, okay? It's the reason why you got me on here. It's the reason why you came across my page. So thank you for being honest and putting that full transparency out there. And you say, when that failed, that's when I got into property management. So now I'm learning more into the digital marketing space side of property management, hospitality. I love it. I love it because guess what? All of these new real estate and land owners going to need somebody to manage the property, baby. Okay? I don't want to do it after so long. Once I get so many properties, I'm going to need somebody to manage the property. So I like that you getting into that property management and hospitality, and now you're looking into the digital marketing things of it. There you go. Because this is the time to do it. We going into the AI. We getting into paperless. This is why I've been talking to y'all about not being scared to get into crypto, learn crypto, because we're going into that cashless society. And crypto is making a lot of millionaires right now that it took some of our grandparents from the stock market to wait until they was in their 50s and 60s. We got 20-year-olds that's millionaires from learning crypto. You get what I mean? So the fact that you into this space, that's actually something that people need. Everybody lives in a property. Everybody lives in a home or a house, right? Even what I just say, your job, your building that you go into to go to work every day, that's a property. Somebody owns that. The restaurants that you go sit down at, that's a property. Somebody owns that. Every street you drive down, it's a building. Somebody owns that. You can be an owner. Right? So I love that. I love that, D3. I love that for you, baby. The skies is about to open up, boo. The skies is about to open up. So stop being scared. Here's the fool saying, jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. There we go. That's the fool. That's the fool saying. You right. Is it Ontario? Yeah. That's the fool saying. So you don't want to be a jack of all trades, right? You want to be a master of, well, it says master of none, but you really oftentimes better than a master of one. So you want to master one thing. Thank you. You say, my concern is AI is taking over a lot of jobs. Okay, Shannon. So if that's a real concern for you, then guess what? Learn AI. Or learn jobs, or look at jobs that AI is taking over. And then what are those jobs that they're not taking over? Because I don't know if I'll ever be okay with allowing a robot to do surgery on me. Maybe once the whole world goes away and we don't have real doctors, right? But for me, I'm going to always go to a real doctor. I'm going to always go to a person. I'm going to always let my nail tech do my nails and my feet. Right? I'm going to always go to my hair girl because I'm not letting a robot do my hair. You get what I mean? Like makeup. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Certain things AI is taking over some jobs, like the warehouse jobs, things that they can replace people with. That's why when y'all go to the bank, you got one teller now. You know, they want you to go to the machines or the ATM. You go to the grocery store, they got the machines that could scan you out. They don't need the person to scan you because you could scan the stuff yourself. So that's what you got to look at. You got to look at the world and look at what is changing, what jobs are being taken by AI, and then look at what jobs are not being taken. And that's how you're going to filter yourself out. Okay. Or look at both and figure out how to merge one or the other and put them together. Because now you learn, you know, some AI, but then you still know some stuff to do as an actual person, right? But that's what people have to pay attention to. If you are seeing that jobs are being taken, then what are you doing? That's the whole point of this. You can't just be mad and be like, oh, the world is going to shit. Well, what are you doing? What's your game plan? You just going to sit here and cry about the world going to shit, or you going to make a plan? Right? And I said that to y'all, and we're going to give you a template when y'all come into this class on Monday. I asked y'all that if something happens today, if we get a BOMB drop today on us, and you at work and your kids in school somewhere, do you have a plan? Y'all used to talk crazy to people who set up doomsday plans and got all this water and stuff in their basement. That's actually not that crazy. If you start looking at how things are today in 2025, in 1999, when they didn't know if the sisters was going to go on, the whole world was flipping out with 1999, when Prince put that song, we going to party like it's 1999, because everybody thought the world was going to end in 1999. They didn't think that the computer was going to switch over to 2000. If y'all would have been around at that time to be alive, baby, it was hilarious. I was in high school. I was graduating high school in 99. Baby, it was hilarious. The way we was partying on New Year's Eve, it was crazy. It was hilarious because people were scared because that computers were brand new. I'm in that era where everything was started. We didn't have social media. I grew up in the era where we were still outside and we was playing outside as kids. And then once the street lights came on, that's how we all knew how to come in the house. We wasn't on Facebook. MySpace was the first thing I think we had. We had beepers and pagers. Then we had the brick phone. right? Y'all kids on these tablets and stuff. See, I'm from that era when all this started. I'm an 81 baby. We came up with all of this, through all of this technology. So you got to pay attention to how stuff is changing. When stuff is changing, you got to learn. You can't be stuck in your ways and stuck in how you thinking. You got to be okay to move with the times, right? And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people right now are stuck in the old ways and not looking at where we're going. There's so many people that say they scared of crypto and don't want to do crypto, and that just makes no sense to me, because that means you're not paying attention. That means you are not paying attention to where we're going in the world, and you're going to get left behind. You're going to be a late bloomer. When this is a time where everybody could be a millionaire. Like, for real, for real. Look into XRP. Look into Ethereum. Look into some coins. Like, go and look at the top 20 coins. Just go on Google and say, what's the top 20 crypto coins? Stick with that. The top 20 coins. If you buy and invest into any of those, then you good. I'm telling you, do something. Put $100 up. Put $50 up. It don't got to be much. Put $50 on it and just let it sit there. Don't touch it. Don't watch it every day. Don't look at it every day. It's just like the stock market. It's going to go up and down. But crypto has been moving and making more millionaires in these last 7 years than I've ever seen in my life. When Nipsey Hussle was in 2018 using crypto in the UK, everything Nipsey Hussle do, I studied. I love that man. May he rest his soul in peace. For real, for real. That brother there was a real king. For real, for real. Book smart, street smart. Pay attention. You got to pay attention to stuff like that. Okay. Hey, Patrice, I shared on my face. Okay, that was the last one I answered, Shannon. So, Patrice, you've gone viral again. Like the people, I know, girl, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Just speaking the truth makes you viral. That's crazy. But yeah, I know. I've been doing that. I watch Michi X here on YouTube. I like her. Everybody kept saying I look like her, so I finally went on her page, because when I first was getting on YouTube, people was like, "Who is this that look like Michi X?" So I went on her page and watched a couple of her videos. So I like her too. And on this, what industries that will be affected, and also get your bug out bags ready. I wish we could go back in the 80s. Girl, I know. I missed the 90s and the 2000s, I promise. We sound like our parents. We sound like our parents do. That's how they was talking back then. But hey, we in 2025. We just got to roll with it. It's just different now. So we got 12 minutes on here that I'm wrapping up. So do you have any questions about what I discussed earlier with why you want to start a business? So real quick, we will just do a quick review. Again, Monday, I am hosting a free workshop on trust and tax. All right. But we'll be talking about credit. We'll be talking about business. We'll be talking about how you set all this, how it's an ecosystem, right? It's a whole system. And then once you have all that stuff in place, why you want to put it and protect it in a trust. Trust is asset protection. So again, if you have a life insurance policy, if you own property, that can all go under your trust, right? A lot of you all have kids, especially those of you all who have multiple kids. Let me say this to you before we get off here. I have been in financial services for over 22 years, since I was 21. We on 23 years now. I'm 44 now. I have been in financial services 23 years. And I can't even begin to tell you the stories that I have seen with my own eyes of families and people when it comes to death, when it comes to money. People change. I don't care who you think you married. I have seen wives turn on the kids. I have seen kids turn on the spouse. I have seen spouses turn on each other. When it comes to money, y'all be thinking that these people that you love will do the right thing. And I'm telling you right now, put it on paper. Put what you want done on paper. If you only have a will is null and void when you die, because they can fight over it. They could say, oh, you wasn't in your right mind. We contest it. A will alone does nothing for you. Now, if you have a will inside your trust, then that's different. But just a will by itself, you are going to probate a lot of times. You think you're not, because you think the people that you put in that will going to do what they want you to do until you pass away. Oh, and let them find out that you got a nice life insurance policy. People change for money. I'm here to tell you. Being in financial services for 23 years. I worked in the banking industry for 6 years, and I have been an entrepreneur in the tax and business consultant space for the last 12 after I got let go of the bank in 2013. But overall, my career has been in accounting, banking, and finance. Okay? I don't care if it's your wife. I don't care if it's your husband. I don't care if it's your mama and your daddy. They will switch up when that insurance money is about to be paid out. So you need to have things in writing. This is why a trust is so important. It's asset protection. It's asset protection. Income, asset, wealth, generational. You can leave it and pass it down. You can set it up. When we talk about generational wealth, the average person is not setting up generational wealth because y'all never put it in a trust. Y'all thought that you was going to leave $200,000 to your kids and your kids blew it in less than a year. I have seen people blow 100 bands in less than 3 months. If you have children and you know that those children are not really good with money, you think that they're going to just all of a suddenly wake up and appear to be good with 100,000? Like, come on, y'all. Use your common sense. They don't just wake up and be good with 100,000. If they blowing their money today on whatever they blowing their money on, pay attention to that. If you're not talking to your kids and teaching your kids about keeping your house and your property, if you're not saying that to them, ask your kids tonight. If you own property, if you own your house, ask your kids tonight, if something happened to me, what would you do with this house? And hear what they say. Ask them. These are the type of questions we have to have. You have to know what's going on with your family members. Because I'm here to tell you, it's not going to be that way when you gone in that grave. I have seen so many people sell off their grandma's house. That's why I be on this don't sell grandma's house kick with y'all. You know what your parents and grandparents went through to buy their properties, especially if you are of Sulan descent, if you are African descent. All right? If you are a freed man and woman descendant, do you know what your parents and grandparents went through to get those properties? And you just gonna sell it off because you've never had 200,000 in your life, but now you want that money? That's what they think. That's how they think. They like, okay, I don't care that grandma spent her whole life to pay this house off. That's not how they thinking. They sell y'all stuff. They sell it all. They don't care. I'm here to tell you. That's why you don't have generational wealth. Because we're not having these real conversations. All right? You're not having these real conversations to ask what you want and how you want things done. All right? So that's what we'll be showing you in the trust workshop. So that's Monday. Again, if you're here on the YouTube channel, I don't think I flipped this camera around on TikTok. There we go. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do mirror. Mirror video. There we go. So for those of you all that are on TikTok, if you take this phone number down and you want to get in the class, it's actually for free. So Monday, October 13th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, we'll be hosting this free Zoom workshop. Again, it's going to be on Zoom. StreamYard. So we will not be broadcasting this live. We'll be going into a lot more detail. Death does bring the worst out of people. Yeah, it does. It does. And like I said, being in financial services, I see it all the time. And I hate to see it because then that puts you in probate court. And then half the money that they arguing and fighting over, it goes away in fees in probate court. So I've literally seen people lose hundreds of millions of dollars in probate court. All because they want to argue over how the person left the money. So on the trust class, we're talking about irrevocable trust. We're talking about why you want to have an irrevocable trust versus maybe a revocable. Of course, you want to do however you feel you see fit to do or leave whatever trust, but those are going to be the main topics, is the difference between a revocable and an irrevocable. And we'll be going heavy into using an example of an irrevocable trust. That's what we'll be really talking about. Asset protection, privacy, okay? And then again, that generational wealth building, how you set it up, how you structure it, all of that plays a role, and all of that matters. So that's what we'll be going over. Great, Frank Moon. I already have a business partner that I work with, and he and I do the trust. So that's great to know that you do that as well. But yeah, that's what my business partner does. He's the trust and wealth advisor, and I'm the tax and business strategist. But that would be great to know, Frank Moon. I'll look at your page and see who you are. Any other questions that you got? Y2K was real, wasn't it? But it was a time to be alive. All right. But yeah, I think that's it. I answered everybody's questions. Looks like we went through everything. And then, like I said, these are some of the things and reasons why we'll be talking about the importance of having a trust and an estate plan, and also knowing and understand the taxes, right? Because some people say, oh, well, trusts get taxed this way. And that's because you don't know the structure of how to set it up. If you set it up a specific way, then the taxes can be deferred. That's the terminology that we're using. It's a difference between avoiding taxes, right? And then it's a difference from using tax strategy and deferring taxes. All right. So all of that we'll be going over in this free workshop on Monday. But that was the biggest thing. And then that's why, and then like I was saying with you all, the last thing is with the life insurance, similar way. Rockefellers set up their generational wealth because they did not leave each individual family member the money. Those of you all who have families, when you set up a family trust, and instead of making your individual children the beneficiaries, if you actually set up and put the money back into the trust, this is a way that you can keep that money going on generational after generation after generation after generation. See, a lot of times families set up the trust, and then after the last family member passes, the trust just dissolves and it dies out. And that's what happened with the trust that my grandparents set up, because I use that example all the time, that my grandparents set up a trust for us. And this is how they was able to control from the grave, because in our trust, they put, if we did not go to college and we didn't get a college degree, we would not get access to our trust fund. Right? So that's why I was telling y'all, and when you have trust, you also put stipulations in it. You can control from the grave. Instead of giving that family member $1 million policy or a $500,000 policy, it's put and structured in the trust. And you could say, well, I want them to get $5,000 payments a month or $10,000 payments a month. Like, you can literally lay out and structure out how you want to do it, how you want things to be done with the money, how you want things to be done with your properties, your buildings. Okay. Because like I said, the moment some of y'all pass, them kids of y'all start selling off everything. Everything you worked for, everything that you're doing right now to build for them, a lot of them don't see it that way. So this is why I said, every one of you all that have children, I want you to go tonight or tomorrow, if it's late and they're already in bed, because it's almost midnight. I want you to have this conversation with your child tomorrow in the morning when you're dropping them off at school, when you're feeding them breakfast. Ask them that question. I don't care how old they are. If they old enough to think, they old enough to answer the question. But especially your teenagers or your adult children, you know what I'm saying? Ask them. If something happened to mama or something happened to mom and dad tomorrow, what would you do? What would you keep this house? If I left you some funds, what would, you know what I'm saying? Ask them that. See where your child is at mentally. Because if it's not what you want it to be, then this is also more of a reason why you should be in this trust class. Protecting your assets, protecting what you're working for. All right. So I'm out. Again, get in the trust class. You can text 872-253-9272. It's in the comments. I'll put it in the comments again once we actually hang up. It's completely free. It's completely free. We'll be going over some real stuff for you. And I'm done. It's midnight. All right. Y'all have a good night. I'm out.